Greetings, viewers, and thanks for joining me out in the garage today. Got a few more things going on with the Tundra here. I did switch over to synthetic rope on the front here. That's my synthetic rope off my trailer. I moved it over here onto the truck, and I like it so much better without that big fair lead hanging out in the middle of everywhere. So that looks good. You can see I'm getting ready to start on my sliders here. I did get all new stereo and speakers put in. It came with these little tweeters with no other way to mount them, so I just cut a hole and mounted them right there. They stick out a little bit, but they're not intrusive. Got my touchscreen head unit in there that actually Bluetooths properly like my other one didn't. New speakers in the rear. I didn't show all that because I'm not a stereo install tech, and it's all pretty simple plug and play type stuff there. I did get my dash cam installed for the front. Again, stick it to the window, plug in the power cord and turn it on. I didn't hook up the rear camera yet because I'm not sure where I want to put it. Now I did pick up this camper topper shell truck topper thing here that I really like, and ordered keys for it because it didn't have any. I've got it bolted down on there because the C-clamps kept coming loose and I didn't like that. It rained like crazy yesterday and I was on the interstate with it for about 4 hours in the pouring rain and didn't get any water come in at all, which is awesome. I need to do a better seal here, but the reason for the topper, for the most part, is I got to push the one side when I close it. I'm going camping, and instead of buying a tent, I'd much rather sleep in the back of my truck. I found this used camper topper for 200 bucks. It was a lighter shade of blue. I just didn't gel with me, so I went ahead and just rattle can painted it black. When I get my rust fixed here, I'm going to paint the camper shell to color match to the truck and take care of all that fadey stuff on my roof that I really need to take care of. But all that will come in due time as money presents itself. Like with these sliders, that's kind of my idea. Of course, it'll run all the way back to here. I'll show you some supports. Getting ready to cut some stuff. Right now it's just going to be a simple one bar on either side. I can add to it later. Still contemplating what I'm going to do on the back, but we'll get to that in due time. I bought as much steel as I could afford for this project at the time. I do fund this whole show myself. Just going to say you can help me for free by liking my show, subscribing to my channel, leave a comment, good, bad, or indifferent, and click the bell if you want to. Those are all optional things, but they really do help me support my show and afford the things that I like to do out here. So enough about that. I'm going to get cracking on this, cut some supports. I've already measured the legs out. On the back, I'm going to have to cut an angle one to go up to the frame for support there. I'll show you that when I get there. Let me show you a little bit of cutting and welding today. See how you like this slider build. My slider build videos usually don't do very well either. Again, my fab stuff, but if you like to see stuff getting fabbed, want to learn how to fab, do your own fab. I do all mine with cheap tools, secondhand chop saw, $200 welder, $200 plasma cutter that actually belongs to my son and he has it now. But anyway, transformation of the rear bumper. I may even cut the bed. Gotta wait and see how I'm gonna do the hitch and stuff first. I don't want this to get too extreme too quick, but I did get excited and go overboard on my armor build. So let me get started on these sliders. I'll hit the high points with you. All right, so even when steel prices are down, it's really expensive. So use the best use of your material. I like to cut my longest run first, of course. Get that out of the way and then divide up my kickers and see what I come up with. Now, I got some boards under one end of this to help keep that end up in the air, but it's not perfect. Set my piece on the mark, and I'll make sure it's flat in the saw deck, on the saw deck, because the boards aren't quite high enough. Double check, perfect. Now when I let go, you can see it tipped the saw back a little bit, but that's okay. Got my trash can here for sparks, so Oswald doesn't catch him right in the face. He loves to chase sparks. I don't understand it, but he can't be stopped. Chop saw, especially a big blade like that, go slow and easy, and try not to put too much force on it because it'll make the blade want to flex out a little bit. Something you don't want. So there I go with my two kickers cut. I'm going to cut my kickers real quick all the same, and then I'll be back to show you a little bit of how I'm going to lay it out and put it together. It's going to be simple and basic, but easy to add on to. All right, and I got my pieces cut. I got my little kickouts cut. Took the flap wheel, ground all the ends down. Now I like to keep the seam down just because it's out of sight. When I'm cutting my pieces, like with the seam down on the saw or up, like that one is up, it's either up or down, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter on square, I guess, regardless, unless you're doing an angle. But I cut them all the same, so when I put them down as my kickers, if there is any discrepancy, they're all the same. That may not even make any difference, but it's something I do. Then I'll go around right now on make sure they're flat. Garage floor can't be perfect, like that one's a little low, but you can see a gap under the steel. I'll just flush them up, tack them on, set it up there on my, and see what I think about it. So that's all there is to this part so far. This is going to be about $120 worth of metal and an afternoon in the shop with the dog. He's like, make some more sparks, man, come on. All right, I'm going to tack some of these together, get my sample piece off, throw this up there, maybe tack it on, or show you the next step anyway. All right, so I got this one over here cooling down, all welded together. Again, make sure you use the flat spot on your floor. For all of them, check it real good with your square and make sure they're right. There's the first one on. I put 3 supports so far, and I told you I was going to do an angled one on the back. I just used cardboard and boards and jack stands and stuff to get it up where I wanted it. Made sure it was in the right places. Checked on the other side first, of course, before I made a duplicate. Now this is the piece I'm going to put on the back. I just cut an angle that I thought was right. This is actually a 1/4 inch or 3/16 inch thick stuff here. And it's a smaller diameter, but back here, and yeah, that's just all the fluid film and dirt and stuff on my frame. I had to grind all that off, and you'll feel or hear all the fluid film inside your frame boiling. Don't forget to reapply. Now see that piece, I just, with the little mouth I cut in it, it'll set on there something like that, and that'll set up there something like that. And that'll give this real good upward support, I think, at that angle, especially being a more heavy piece of steel. I might try to get it in a little further, but the spring mount, yeah, that's about as far in as I can get it. But I'm happy with that. Got to finish welding this side. Going to put the other side on. Going to make another one of those, maybe a little long, just so I can trim it, but it should be the same. Let me get some of this done, some paint thrown on this, and I'll show you what I got here. All right, viewers, so done with my sliders. Out of my 2 sticks I bought for $120, I have that much left, which is about that much. 3.5 feet. I've got this piece over here that's about 6 feet left from a previous job. So I may get started on my back bumper. I have an idea to cut that hitch off and shorten it up and use it as part of my bumper. I kind of don't want to cut it already for clearance when I build the bumper, but it's going to look really funny with clearance there, sliders and that big ass hanging off the back. But I haven't decided yet. You know how I go. I'll make up something when I get there, but I'm going to start on that. This is the result of, let's see, I got about 4 hours all together in this, setting up, playing with the dog, painting them. I still have to put my fluid film back on around the back sides of the frame where I welded. No big deal, easy to do. So good support there. 3 good kickers out here. They're simple and basic, yes, but easy to add on to, which I will when I have the funds for more steel. The bumper, I love the bumper. If I show this slider one before the bumper one, pretend like you didn't see the bumper yet. I like the topper. I just thought, man, why buy a $200 tent when I can buy a $200 topper and use it for a lot of things? I can take it off if I need to. You know how I like to spray paint. If it ain't dripping, it ain't covered. This one turned out, of course, the same way. In the back, angled up for good support there. I did get one of those eraser wheels you put in a drill. Did a really nice job taking all that gunk off. Still a little bit on there, you can tell, but it's a 23-year-old truck that had flares on it for 23 years. So excited to color match the top and roof when I get the fender or the bedside fixed over here. That is important, and I hate it that it's like that, and it is something I want to do, but it can't be a top priority for me. It's because it's not. It's not really hurting anything. I do have it soaked down with rust penetrant or preventative. And anyway, so enough about that rust hole. You know, I'll get to that. Love my new stereo. It's like a whole new truck jamming inside there because it is new jamming inside there. Thanks for joining me out for this today. Again, break out your cheap welder, go buy some steel, make you some sliders, go wheel your truck. I don't want to tear this up. This is probably overkill for what I plan to do, but that's how it starts sometimes. So thanks for joining Slim and Oswald and I out in the shop today as we did a little fabricating on an afternoon. You can do that for 4 hours and $120. Front bumper, I got about 18 hours total in over several days. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. Please give me a like if you liked my show. Give me a subscribe if you haven't. It's free, easy, and painless to like and subscribe and comment. I love the comments. Hitting the bell. You know, the stuff YouTube wants to do. Like I said earlier, I pay for everything on my show. Just by doing the free things, you can help my show grow. And yeah, I can continue to afford to buy things. So appreciate you. I got to play with this guy here. He gets so neglected. You know how he's spoiled rotten. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me today for a little slider build. I love the way the Tundra is shaping up. I'm really excited to take it out on its little wheelin' adventure I got coming up. You'll be sure and see that. Lots more to come on the 4Runner as well. I'm down to 2 right now. Well, of course, the T100 over here, but I think I have somebody that needs that engine. Enough about that. Appreciate y'all. Have a super great day.